Welcome to Framework. This is John, one of the hosts of Framework, and with me, as always, the other host of Framework, Al. Good afternoon.
Oh, hi there, John. Good to see you. I definitely haven't been drinking and or been laid off. So everything's great. Thanks for asking.
Glad you had time. And joining us, returning to the program, one of our favorites, and like I'm gonna be honest, this is a quick turnaround, quite a get for us right now. Joon Kim, welcome back.
I am a prized possession. Hello, thanks for having me back.
Just a status symbol for us, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a very, very important, prestigious topic that needed to be discussed. And obviously, June cleared his schedule.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you've seen the title. It's The End of Oak Street, the new Dinosaurs in the Suburbs movie with Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor. And I almost said directed by David Foster Wallace. That's not right.
No, it's Robert Cameron Mitchell John. It's like four. It's like three dude names, but there's like four of them I'm going to cycle through. So it might be.
Yeah, I forgot it too.
John Mitchell Cameron.
Is there a Chambers in there?
I think it's like Robert David Mitchell or something.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Robert David Mitchell.
I think as close as we're gonna. Sorry, folks, for.
I'm not going to ask you again in 8 minutes and see if you can possibly get it the same place around. No.
Such disrespect to the Dino auteur.
Okay, so this is the guy who made It Follows, yeah?
Yes.
Correct.
He was sort of, hotshot horror auteur. Then what? He made one other movie and went to director jail? Is that what happened?
Under the Silver Lake.
Yes.
Which I haven't seen. I've only seen It Follows and this new one.
No one has seen Under the Silver Lake.
I know some people who have seen it who
They're
love
lying.
it.
They are lying to you. They've never seen it.
They love it the way people love Inherent Vice.
Yes.
Kind of like, vibey LA noir.
So didn't Nicholas Winding Refn also make like a vibey LA noir thing that had something to do with Silver Lake or Under?
That I'm not sure. He could have.
I mean, he might have made 4 of those. The Neon Demon is certainly one of those.
Okay, so maybe for some reason I could not keep Neon Demon and Under Silver Lake straight in my head. They somehow blended together.
Well, he just had another one, actually, called Her Private Hell, which I believe is very much that thing as well. Anyway, We've seen none of them. And
yeah.
And I mean, it's only slightly germane here to this film, I guess, because this is an entirely different genre. I don't know. Maybe if I'd seen Under the Silver Lake, I could tell you all the ways it knits together. But no, this feels to me very much like something that the guy who made It Follows made. It just has kind of shifted its genre. It has a lot of the things It Follows had.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an actual It Follows like shot. Where it's just an Allosaurus creeping up behind them with their backs turned.
Yeah.
The giant snake going through the house too also has the same vibes of everybody's being very oblivious to.
I haven't seen It Follows since I saw it in theaters back when it got hyped and came out, and I remember enjoying like the first 2/3 of it, and then the finale hit, and I wasn't that into it once it got to the swimming pool, if I recall. And I recall like the rules of it just felt a little hazy and whatnot. It felt this movie Oak Street feels like he wanted to kind of have another go at that kind of more conventional like horror finale, and I think he did a better job of it because it suits the material better. Dinosaurs as opposed to AIDS metaphor creeping up on you.
I like the ending of. Well, no, I prefer the ending of Oak Street to the ending of It Follows. I do think that the ending of It Follows is the weakest part of It Follows, simply because it is a dreamlike horror movie that is very much about this one idea, which is something that you don't recognize following it. There's a primal quality to that, and when you have to like kind of end that, I mean, it's like a nightmare. It's sort of resistant to a narrative.
And
this movie's all narrative.
About It Follows that the rules get a little bit wonky at the end. I think I was willing to just roll with that because I was. Even like sitting in the theater, like the type of horror movie this is, it's like, okay, but obviously like this isn't going to work. Like they're not going to use the rules to defeat this thing like definitively. So like I can accept that I don't necessarily buy the rules exactly because I'm like, yeah, they're trying something. What else are they going to do?
I forgot.
Okay, but let's try something weird here for us.
All right,
let's try starting at the beginning of Oak Street.
Sure. Okay.
Rather than jumping right to the end. One, is this one of the best dinosaur movies ever made? And I mean, have we like just failed to live up to the promise of the Lumiere brothers in that like dinosaurs running amok and eating people should be like 70% of what movies are?
Well, I think it's easy to say this is one of the best dinosaur movies ever made because it is a pretty low bar to clear. Yeah, like there's not much in the way.
Is that possible?
Because Jurassic Park kind of like took over and no one wants to kind of tilt at the king. I think maybe a little.
Well,
that's
but
their
it's not like Jurassic
bailiwick.
Park has been, throwing a perfect game. The last,
No, they've all been
also,
bad
like,
since the first one. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the first one.
Like, second one has its moments.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it's not bulletproof. And I don't know, King Kong has been doing dinosaurs for
I suppose.
a century now. Some good dinosaur stuff in various King Kongs, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's Sliders? I never saw
They
it.
probably had some dinosaurs and sliders. Yes. Yeah, but no, I mean, that's the thing. You can't really, you're already like coming up on like, well, sliders maybe, because there just aren't that many examples, there's
There
like
was the Adam Driver movie 65, which I heard was very just like not really worth catching.
whatever.
There's Primitive War, like a really low budget thing that was kind of like the ideal thing to do with dinosaurs, but which I heard is not bad for considering its budget. I haven't seen it yet, but
Right.
so it's out there. But this is for me. Like I think Patrick Willems, like the video essayist, also kind of made a whole video about why aren't there more dinosaur movies? Like this should be like a fertile ground for he made a whole video on that and just kind of making the case. And I can't remember what conclusions he came to, but this is as for my position in all this, as somebody who, like any, little boy reading his, encyclopedia and like focused on the dinosaur section, I was into dinosaurs, but I honestly can't say that I felt like a lack in terms of dinosaur movies. Maybe like Jurassic Park hit that, that first movie hit that ground so hard. It just kind of, that satiated me, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the first Jurassic Park is kind of like legitimately a masterpiece that is virtually impossible to improve upon, which has been a problem for the series, but it also has kind of provided your high water mark for dinosaur films. If you want
and that always
you
stops the industry from trying to recreate the magic.
Sure, but 7 movies long on the Jurassic Park franchise. There's kids' TV shows and they're still like stupidly successful for how subpar they are. So like. It hasn't gone away. It's been in our lives this whole time for sure.
Doesn't it feel like there should be more dinosaur movies than there are werewolf movies? Like werewolf is such a more specific premise.
Werewolves you can make werewolf movies before 1993 helps there. It's still probably pretty expensive,
I mean, maybe it's also because Godzilla is around. Like that's always kind of an international thing. So I feel like that kind of includes, and Godzilla didn't do very well. Like was it the Emmerich one, right? Roland Emmerich one.
It was a cultural embarrassment, if I recall. Yeah.
So I feel like there's little hiccups along the road that just kind of prevent people from like really going hog wild on dinosaurs. Even during the gap between Jurassic Park 3 and then the Jurassic World coming out, there was a big gap, and nobody seemed to want to take the crown then either. I don't know. Maybe it's always the bad timing but like the opposite of Jurassic Park just coming out at the perfect time for when, CGI just made that possible. And like the wonder of seeing dinosaurs on screen would like kind of coincided with like the genetic engineering and all that stuff. That was just like the perfect time. And you just couldn't hit that perfect storm that same way again. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's all like reasons why you can't top Jurassic Park. Why they haven't, I mean, they haven't really topped Die Hard, but that hasn't stopped them from making 3 to 4 new Die Hards a year, every year for 40 years. And like, I think maybe the Godzilla thing actually opens it up for me a little bit. Maybe I think there's something there that, well, one, it's hard to make a dinosaur movie cheaply, particularly after Jurassic Park. Right. Even compared to something like Jaws or whatever, where that Jaws like at once is kind of a perfect monster movie and also demonstrates how you can cut corners and be budget conscious doing monster movies. It's hard to be budget conscious doing a Jurassic Park ripoff after Jurassic Park. And also perhaps Godzilla and just kaiju movies generally kind of are on the same corner as dinosaur monster movies would be. And kaiju give you a little more leeway to just kind of design your own monster and make the rules whatever you want and not have to worry about any, having to hew to any particular science.
Like you brought up werewolf movies, but like werewolf movies, you could always kind of tie. It's pretty personal. It's a person transforming into a werewolf, so there's like the personal element. Whereas, like Godzilla movies, until at least Godzilla -1 for me, like it's hard to, combine the spectacle of all the dinosaur stuff with the human level element, which I feel like is what maybe like is another excuse for that, movie makers, financiers kind of, trip over regarding like, how do we make this a relatable human story? Like just give me dinosaurs, but maybe not.
I'm personally really surprised that this specific premise hasn't just been made somewhere along the line way before. Like since Jurassic Park, no one's really been like, well, about dinosaurs in the suburbs. And I mean, there's moments of that. And I guess in Lost World tries like a 5-minute version of this. And they promise that they're going to make a whole movie about this eventually in the Jurassic World.
Can never bring themselves to do it.
Yeah, then they don't. Then it's like, well, what about an island again, though? And it's and so like you've got this like kind of what we've always wanted to see in a way, which is dinosaurs walking down a suburban street and and chasing after people. Like, how has this not been a film many times over at this point? And here finally they have done this and kind of done it up in a way. Like they've actually delivered on the promise of the premise.
Yeah. Here's another small question for you. Is The End of Oak Street a really bad title for this movie? Like, should the title be more dinosaurish?
I like that it's portentous in a way you can't quite put your finger on.
Right.
I like that very much.
It's not a bad title generally. It's a good title for a lot of different movies. I just wonder if this, for what this movie ends up being, should it not gesture at the dinosaur aspect more?
Actually, your question threw me off for a second. I thought we were talking about the beginning of Oak Street, Al. Why you want to talk about the end again?
Well, it screws us up there at least.
Yeah. I guess you just have to make sure it's combined with a good marketing campaign. But apparently, this movie did just okay because Odyssey and Spider-Man are still kind of ruling the box office. I have no idea how even in that context, how well this movie did or not. I saw like there was a film for IMAX logo at the end of the credits, but with like it's bad timing right now because Odyssey has taken those over as far as I'm aware.
This was delayed. This film was supposed to come out last year, I understand.
Oh, really?
I believe so. So Anne Hathaway made this before all the other big movies she's made this year, probably.
Yeah. I wonder what the holdup was.
I do not know. It might just be like a scheduling window kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tough one to pinpoint.
Intense debates about whether they could actually put feathers on velociraptors. I could see like one executive being like, "No, that's not my dinosaurs," and then having to fight over, "No, that's the point we need." I mean, that's something's good about this. It gives this okay. So we're talking about how like there haven't been enough dinosaur movies, given how cool dinosaurs are. It's strange how it feels like this. It feels at the same time to me strange how this movie has not been made before, and also feels like this movie has been made before, plenty of times. Like, it does feel very familiar, between the sort of Amblin energy of the opening, and then the sort of family siege stuff. I mean, I was sitting there in the theater thinking of you, John, going like, I see why he had such a strong reaction to this. It's almost a Krampus remake.
Yeah, you're talking Krampus. I was like, oh, shit. That's a connection I hadn't. Oh, yeah.
It also reminded me of Jordan Peele's Us, which is my favorite Jordan Peele movie. And, people are welcome to fight me about that. But it's a lot of... It's a sturdy sort of premise for a genre movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a Twilight Zone quality to the premise. I mean, it's kind of, I like how little they waste our time with the whys or the hows.
Yeah,
of all this. It's just like a time bubble.
Especially with when they marketed it, they put J.J. Abrams' name kind of front and center a little bit too. So with that in mind, I was kind of wondering like how much are they going to try to tease something out of it or something, and I was kind of dreading that a little bit. Or if he was going to take a step back and, no, I'm just a producer on this one.
Well, this could 100% have been a Cloverfield franchise film. They could have just called it
absolutely
the End of Cloverfield Street or whatever stupid. Like, that would have been easy easy to see them doing. And I guess the brand is just tarnished enough that they did not in this case.
Good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm glad to not have this as being like, well, it's part of the Cloverfield franchise, of course, so you got to watch all three before. No. Very nice to have something. Well, I mean, one of the great things about this film, honestly, is that it is so singular. It is a closed loop, essentially. Like there's not really I guess they could make more, but they're not going to. And it's a complete story. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that it could be its own outer limits thing of there could be time bubbles that pop up to send anybody to anyone. And
absolutely,
it's like the people are talking about the Predator. It's like, well, now this family has to go back and now they're in Viking times or whatever. And
the same family again has to do that.
I know, it can be a different family each time too. But then it's like, what are we even doing here? This is not the same thing even. And eventually you'd have to start exploiting the time bubbles, which I just don't think there's any juice there.
No. It's concise. This movie has a premise that it plays out, and that's it. There's not much left on the bone at the end, and I love that. At 100 minutes, too.
Perfect.
Which cannot be
Which, honestly, it felt like it didn't feel too short, didn't feel too long. It felt just like just the right length. Or it didn't feel like cheated, like, oh, this movie could have gone on a little bit longer, and I would have been happy. I think it was just the right length. Without credits, without credits, it's like basically what, like a 90-minute movie?
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
And the first act, to me, felt a little extended. Like
it's
was there kind of thinking like the marketing did such a good job of selling me on this premise, and it's really taking its time getting to that premise. And then once it gets there, I'm not saying it's the cleanest and most elegant thing ever. The way that they have to get the younger brother crawling out the window to go wander around with the dinosaurs. But what's kind of great about this movie as a B movie is it's got this incredibly goofy premise. Like I said, could be a Goosebumps episode. Forget Sliders or The Outer Limits. It really, you could do a PG version of this, and yet the tonality of it and everything, it's closer to A Quiet Place than Jumanji in the final analysis.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a horror film. Kind of straight up. I mean, I guess you could call sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, all those things apply, but like, this is a movie to fuck with children, essentially.
Yeah. This is what it feels like. Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. This is the kind of thing like Gremlins, and that's why, they got a lot of comparisons to Amblin, and I think there's a lot of signifiers, obviously, but my favorite of them is that it is mean as fuck, and it shows kids things that would be difficult to shake off, and turns out I love that.
The movie is actually particularly, I think one of my first reaction was, and I posted this somewhere, this movie is mean to the younger brother as Endgame is to Chris Pratt's character. It's just constantly undercutting the kid.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really get he doesn't get a moment of redemption where it pays off. The only thing I could say is I don't hate him or anything, because in the end he's really loyal to his dog. And that gets rewarded, in a way, which was like, it got me and my friend were going, yeah, when the dog shows back up.
But he never hits the amazing shot with his final arrow.
No, he doesn't.
Which
is fantastic, I think.
It's wonderful.
There's some shocking things in this movie. One moment that I was not prepared for was the kid trying to jump into the portal off the roof.
I was like in my stupid meme heart. I was already imagining, and the moment it happened, my friends and I were just dying.
It ends up not being very impactful, actually, but the moment is really something.
I was really what I like about that moment is just the way that when things could just backfoot me slightly. So I know, obviously, the big climax of this movie cannot be they one by one all jump into this portal and make it without further hiccups. But I thought one of the looming pterodactyls was going to swoop in and knock him out of off course in the sky. And that's why that's just to have him simply take the time to really more time than they should take. They really debating no, you go first. I want to see you go first. Time it out. Be careful. I'm no, this, the last one, maybe the last time you ever have a chance at this. We're don't count to three. We're going on one. We're all going on one. But then to have him just flat out miss it, I thought was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, there's mean sense of humor there. That's the fun stuff. Look, this movie is actually one you can spoil, I would say. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a spoilable film that, I think you are rewarded for not knowing what's going to happen in this thing. So, ultimately, we're going to have to talk about that stuff. Maybe we should wait. But I don't know. Before we get into that, maybe we can talk about the Amblin suburbs of the opening 30 minutes or something. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the lead performers in this film, Anne Hathaway and Ewan McGregor?
I want to start with Ewan McGregor, who, I'm always happy to see him, right? But whenever he does an American accent, I can't take him seriously. So, and it's been a long time too, but they keep putting, so like anytime, it's like, is that a fucking dinosaur? Like I was like doing an impersonation of it with my friends, and I kept thinking, am I sounding like Don Knotts or something here? I guess with
Dino DNA.
Dino DNA. Sure. It's like, what the hell? It just takes me back to when I first heard his American accent in Black Hawk Down, where it's like, what the hell is he doing? It's like, so, pleasant to see him. I have no problem seeing him. I think in the end it ends up being fine, but that's one of those things where, so because of that, and we'll go to Anne Hathaway, where I think Anne Hathaway is the kind of the real MVP of the movie.
Without question.
Right, without question. Right?
I mean, the script is about her. She is the main character.
Yeah.
She has all the gifts in the screenplay, for certain.
She's the big arc of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, neither of them really sell me as these characters.
They are. They should not be the hottest people in the world.
Yeah.
It's one thing.
There's that thing. Ewan McGregor, it's overlaying what you were talking about, the accent being, you feel him putting it on a little bit. Maybe just because I've seen him do enough stuff with a more native accent that it's hard for me to do that. But he's also just way too good looking to be as schlubby as the character is written to be.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor in his late 40s is not delivering pizzas. There's just there's no way.
Right. Uh-huh. Really soggy pizzas in the rain.
They would be like, "No, we're putting you we're taking your picture, we're putting you in our print ads for pizza or something." But I have a sort of similar thing with Anne Hathaway, where I don't buy her in Midwestern suburbia exactly.
Sure. But it also turns out she's a really good shot with a shotgun. There's photos on the wall showing that she's
and she's a generationally talented writer, of course. And I don't know if that's
I guess she is.
No, I mean it's fine. It's her old. It's her friendly neighbor gassing her up a bit about it.
That's
perhaps,
that's why you cast Anne Hathaway, though. This character is going to be exceptional. So you cast a big movie star, I guess. She is too hot and too amazing, kind of to be playing this.
Looking at her legs, I was like, nice gams.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at her arms.
Which one's the teenage
those
daughter?
are very long, very sculpted arms. Those are like Olympic archer arms.
This is not 1982 mom energy.
Right. Well, that's it. So there was a way to. I mean, I think there was casting you could put. I don't know. David Harbour and Melanie Linsky in here or something
nice. I actually
think that's great.
That sounds great. Actually,
I wouldn't have minded that. That said, I think the performances are good enough and movie star-ish enough that they kind of they make it work.
It's enough of a B movie that level of authenticity is not really necessary to work for the whole thing to work. It doesn't ruin the movie that I don't entirely buy them as the characters on the page. I mean, I don't know that it would have hurt to have somebody that I did buy more just implicitly, but whatever. They do. They're very talented people. They do good work. And the dinosaurs are the stars. So
to go along with Al's point is that in regards to the topic about the Amblin-ness of it all, this movie star casting probably does take a bit away from the Amblin-ness of it. This is not like, Dee Wallace or something in E.T. that actually you totally buy as a suburban mom as opposed to someone like Anne Hathaway.
I don't disagree. I mean, they are. I think they're very good in the film, though. I mean, Ewan McGregor, kind of like this. Yeah, he doesn't work exactly as this character. Like, if I wouldn't have the transposition, kind of like I wouldn't see my own dad in him watching this as a child for certain. But he does always kind of have a quality of being, I've always found McGregor to be incredibly like a very strong, relatable kind of POV figure. That like he brings kind of movie star charisma and looks to relatable stuff.
Like relatable
well.
looks too. Like he's a beautiful guy, but he's kind of a relatably beautiful guy, I guess.
Yeah, like I would say to compare, for example, like DiCaprio in Titanic, McGregor in Moulin Rouge. For me, one of those performances is much better, and it's Ewan McGregor. It's they're both kind of having a similar role, I guess, in a lot of ways, and one of them feels like a fake character, and one feels like somebody that you're like, oh, yeah, I'm with him, and he brings that to every kind of role he has. I even like his American accent now, and that might just be a Stockholm syndrome thing. I've seen it so many years at this point, but yeah, I think he's just a movie star I have affection for and find reliable, and so to plot him in Amblin dad mode, I'm kind of like, yeah, it may not work, but it works for me. I'm accepting of this, actually.
Like by the time Anne Hathaway takes a photo, the goofy photo of him in front of the dinosaurs having sex, like, and he puts on his big, charming, goofy smile. That's why you have him in the movie.
Yeah. Maybe a goofy beard would have helped. I don't know. Something.
Yeah. Because I think he has gotten to
it's
an
1982.
Where...
It's a mustache would be the way to
go.
Really bad.
I wish. Yeah.
And that guy can wear a mustache and a beard.
Pulling it off, I'm no doubt. Yeah, but give him that mustache. Now I want it. Now I'm mad at the movie for not.
Yeah, he's way too clean shaven.
Yeah, I think he wears the beard too well, though. You have to really work to make it a bad enough beard to fit the character. But okay, let me ask you guys this then. Did this movie need? I mean, I guess this movie is, when I say it's set in 1982, it's obviously also set in 200 million BC to some extent. Yeah. But did at least the wraparound, the baseline need to be in 1982? Is there a reason why this couldn't have been in 2026?
No, but I mean,
I've seen some people argue like, why didn't they set it in the 90s or something? Just kind of for the Jurassic Park connection of it all, maybe.
I mean, the main reason to set things in the past now, something like this would normally be, well, we don't want to deal with cell phones and smartphones. Right. But once you go through a wormhole to the Cretaceous period, nobody's getting reception on their smartphones anyway. And also, maybe like the family feels even more helpless because we're so dependent on our smartphones that, I mean, I do think it's funny, like their attempts at barricading their house are so half-assed that there'll be like a single plank across it.
Was that really going to work? I mean, they take it off pretty easily when they want to get out. So
that's about all they do, by the way, as far as like preparation or dealing with the situation. They talk a few times. We should get resources or something. The smart families are probably getting resources. They don't do it. They just, which I don't know. I like that actually. That seems kind of, they have no plan.
My guess about the time period, I mean, it could have been the 90s too, but like that sense of suburban community, family barbecues, like neighborhood barbecues, and wanting to save, eventually get to the point where you remember enough of the community so that when they come back at the end, there's a sense, that community sense. If everyone's on their smartphones, there's like I feel like that's. Maybe that's just too much commentary I'm projecting on my end, but if it's all smartphones and everything, there's not much as much Amblin sense of community that comes together. And I assume the director, I'm going to, if his name is Robert David Mitchell, like, I think he's about our ages. So, that's kind of what that era that he just kind of tries to project onto.
So you think it's just it would be unrealistic in a post-COVID era for them to have like close enough ties to their neighbors to like have her be friendly with the librarian.
Yeah, stuff like that. Gen Z face, why aren't you smiling?
I think it's a lot simpler than that. I think that 80s Amblin style family adventure is a genre that is hot right now. It is probably how the film was sold. That it's
Stranger Things.
That it's doing Stranger Things. That Stranger Things with dinosaurs, like that is probably exactly what was sold here. Yeah, and or any of the things that they're trying to emulate. Super 8, and if most J.J. Abrams things are basically trying to recapture Spielberg, Lucas 1980s cinema. So much so that this is a genre now and has been for 10 years. And I
mean, one helpful thing, I guess, the getting to the ending. It does work better with a phone booth than if they just pull out their smartphones and have reception again. for the
Which where Anne Hathaway gets to do like a Michael J. Fox sprint. Like, I got a time machine.
Yeah, I like that the I guess who is saved at the end is basically going to be determined by how many phone numbers Anne Hathaway can remember.
Yeah.
Which, is a thing in 1982 that is not a thing now.
That's true. That's a good point.
Maybe it does work better that way. I mean, I also think that there's something kind of, it's very at the margins, but if there is sort of allegorical aspects and subtext to this, there is something about the passage of time and how, well, like we get lingering shots on like framed wedding photos of not just Hathaway and Ewan McGregor, but the old editor lady, when it goes to her house, we linger on a shot of her, a black and white shot of her and her husband on their wedding day, and then the librarian and her husband, and all of that. And that happened like the third time it happened. I'm like, okay, there's something deliberate there, and I guess just there's passing references to, it's like suddenly hotter when the time bubbles start, and if there's something here, it's how close we are all to extinction. And there's something about looming climate change threats that we are pretty helpless against once they strike.
Do we ever get, did I miss, like, is there a particular city this is supposed to be set in? Like, what suburb of what city is this?
I think
it
it's
just a lot of Michigan stuff.
There's
Anytown,
Michigan,
USA?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
very
Michigan?
Anytown, USA, yeah.
It's in Michigan. It Follows is also set in Detroit. And there's a lot of like Faygo memorabilia around.
Oh shit! I didn't catch that. There's a fair amount of ICP.
No, I mean ICP didn't invent Faygo.
I know, but it's linked in my mind. There should be an ICP.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
That would be fun. I mean, it's before they existed, I suppose. But
he's got Red Wing stuff on the walls. So and again, It Follows is also. I gather that Mitchell John Cameron is from Detroit.
Fun
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Yeah,
That's right.
I think Cameron is the Hedwig guy.
John Cameron Mitchell is Hedwig.
Yeah. So I think that's where we got Cameron. I don't think this guy's got a Cameron.
I think it's Robert David Mitchell, but
It could be David Robert
sure.
Mitchell.
That's true.
Or Mitchell Robert David.
God damn it.
Good time.
Anyway,
what assholes we are. All right.
So fine. It does the 1982-ness of it adds something.
Well, about that, the Amblin-ness of it, though. I mean, did it work for you in that context, or are you sick of this as a genre at this point? Like it's so defined now that we're
yes and yes.
Personally, I was fine with it. I didn't watch Stranger Things. I mean, what else is there? I mean, like I don't like actively chase this. I want that Amblin feeling. I go, like watch whatever there is. So, and I want to see this. In terms of the Amblin feeling, I will say. I said that before that this movie wasn't really on my radar. Like it wasn't something that I was like itching to go see. But one of your guests on the forums, Brett Blake, posted a YouTube clip for the Michael Giacchino soundtrack. It was like the end credit titles. And then when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's not the tone that I expected for like a, family survival in suburbia movie for whatever reason. I didn't expect that. So that more than anything just got me more interested. Like it's the director of It Follows. Like I didn't expect to make something like this. And now it has this like more gentle, whimsical tone to it. And so that got me more interested in, wanting to check it out. And so in regards to actually seeing it, the movie struck a nice balance for me with the Amblin-ness, the meanness, but also the goofiness, like with the photo that they take. Like it was just like a nice mix of like nothing was too overpowered by the other. It was just a nice, like really honestly, it was just a really nice, good, fun, sweet time. So much so that even like the stuff at the end of the movie, that people have questions about regarding the logic of the time bubbles and stuff like that. I honestly didn't really care like what the ramifications was. I just kind of left enjoying the thing.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so I am over the Amblin stuff, and the thing I probably liked most about this movie was sort of how it has the first act of an Amblin movie, and as it says, like the first act is completely directed and written by J.J. Abrams, and then once the premise really kicks in, it leans into it more and is sort of, it's more bracing about looking at the darker aspects of it in a way that's like, not into the second act is like, now the guy who made It Follows is taking over this premise.
Well,
And
even
that-
It Follows has Amblin-ness in it a little bit. Like, I mean, it definitely came from the 80s. It came from slasher films. It has a real Nightmare on Elm Street kind of quality in this, the way the suburbs are presented in it.
Suburbia at dusk, sure.
So it's a line I can connect.
What this made me nostalgic less for the 80s than for the 90s in a very specific way. That to me, this would have been a fantastic HBO movie in the 90s. And I mean that specific to HBO, and it wouldn't be as good of a TNT movie or a TBS movie because you'd have to edit out some of the bloodier bits, and breaking it up with commercials I don't think would help that much. But I was sitting in the theater feeling this sort of particular feeling that I had not felt in many a year. It's like almost impossible in today's day and age to have this, but is sitting here and like understanding the premise of the movie entirely and the characters and everything, but just not being really unsure of like how hard this movie is going to go.
Yes.
And that is what usually happens when I turn on a movie that and having missed the first 10 minutes of it on HBO and be sort of settling in and not really sure what exactly I had signed up for. And that would be, in a way, the most fun way to experience this movie is to be like, oh, this is going to be it's going to be a Goosebumps episode. And then you're like, no, wait, it might be A Quiet Place. That's fun and unsettling in a good way for me.
Yeah, the sort of dark comic meanness of this film. I mean, it's easy to see the Spielberg thing, in the opening 30 minutes, and if Spielberg did a movie where the parent, the father, was treated in this way, there'd be a lot of things to think about there. There'd be quite a bit to consider with that, but. What it felt like more to me was a Spielberg-produced film, specifically Joe Dante, Gremlins or Small Soldiers or something like that goes farther than you expect, that kind of takes the violence and the nastiness a little bit farther than you had more than you were ready for, in a way. Like you didn't expect the gremlin to actually explode in the microwave, but it does. Right after they stick one in the blender. There's gruesome shit in this. There's nasty moments, and it's fun for a good long while too. Seeing the mean neighbor get picked apart by pteranodons. That's just like ha 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 ha. You kind of cackle a little bit, and then it gets to a massive tonal shift. About an hour into the film, or a little more than that, maybe, and 2/3, something like that. And after that, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen now. I'm actually confused at what kind of movie this is.
Yeah, even before that, I could sort of feel the tonal shift coming, just because of the way that like we're the first day or night into this time travel scenario, and the family's already sort of looking at it like, that's the last time we're ever going to have milk. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know if I believe in God anymore. And like, what is that? And there's a starkness to, I guess, how helpless the humans are. Like when we're moved from the top of the food chain to the bottom. And
yeah,
like even more than Jurassic Park or something. I guess Jurassic Park, there's still like so many mechanisms of control that the humans are trying to like grab back a hold of, and our technologies, they have more cars, more guns.
I mean, they're away from the comforts of home, so that's already kind of baked into the premise. But this is literally their neighborhood.
Yeah, they have nowhere to go, and they have no resources, and nothing to fall back on, and just the sheer size of a giant bird coming after them is probably more than they can handle. And I feel that even before, like, I mean, you can obviously demarcate where the big twist of this movie is, the shift that John's referring to. Mm-hmm. Normally we don't worry about spoilers on here, but I do want to avoid it entirely, I guess. I don't want to spoil it entirely.
We're going to talk about it here. I mean, we could just say from this point forward. I mean, we're 40 minutes in, something like that. We could just say we're spoiling the third act of Oak Street at this point, and it is something you would not want to know going in, and yeah, it fucking changes the movie in a big way when it happens. Ewan McGregor gets eaten by dinosaurs.
His leg first.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, oh man.
I love this scene so much.
Yeah.
Because at first, he gets the dummy
cool
shot.
Win.
Yeah.
It's a cool win.
And it's a character that kind of needed a win, you know. he hits the thing in the face with a sledgehammer, and it goes down. It knocks it down. And it's almost like that's too much, actually.
Same here. I was like, I can't believe he was able to do that.
Yeah. And then it immediately eats his leg off, and you're just like, oh, shit. They got to deal with that now. No leg.
We're entering Dr. Sleep territory.
And then it's like, oh no, he's very dead now. He's just had his head ripped off at this point. And then you're like, okay, whoa, that's actually a bummer. And I don't know where this movie ends now. And for the rest of the movie, you're kind of just like, is this the kind of film where Anne Hathaway is also going to die? In service of saving her children, and it seems like that is going to happen a couple times. Because all bets are off.
I never thought that.
Okay, well, I mean, there's the scene where the giant prehistoric crocodiles are on the third floor landing with the stairway. I was like, is this it for Anne Hathaway? I don't know. All bets are off now.
Oh no, they'd already shown us that the librarian was in the next room. But one thing though about this is that in comparison to Jurassic Park movie. Which I haven't seen a lot of the newer ones or whatever, but going mainly out the early ones. In Jurassic Park, so the phrase "eaten by a dinosaur" is just kind of a goofy, fun thing to say. And in the Jurassic Park series, it often takes the thing, it's one bite or you get pounced on by a velociraptor and we cut away immediately. Yeah. End of Oak Street made me feel how horrifying it would be to be eaten alive by a wild animal to a greater degree than any Jurassic Park movie had.
The family is like you're looking horror struck, and in the foreground, out of focus, you see just the head of the dinosaur just going yup 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 yup,
and it's lost interest in them entirely at that point.
Yeah, so it's both horrifying and also I probably found it pretty funny just because just the composition of it all.
It was kind of funny. I mean,
it is a little funny.
You could hear the smacking.
And you can see the green screen in that of like Anne Hathaway and those kids are just being coached to gape at nothing. But
there's a little of that in this film for sure. The dog in particular is a problem effects wise. Everything else looks pretty good.
Yeah, the dog it's weird. I can't say the effects of it all ever bugged me because I kind of bought into it, but I thought the design of the dog, it's like I don't know enough about dog breeds, but it kind of reminded me of like the design of the Andy Serkis's Jungle Book movie, where he designed all the animals that were performance captured so that their eyes were in different positions to kind of so that the motion capture would work better. This dog kind of reminded me of that. It felt like the eyes were a little bit too close together, and I just wasn't sure. There was a weird, uncanny feeling, but that's why I think I was thrown off a bit regarding. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is just a weird-looking dog or if it's a.
The dog did not have the spark of life behind its eyes at any point for me. That was a thing with the dog, and I'm kind of getting used to CGI animals, but and the dinosaurs look good mostly. I was into all them, so that was okay. The hairy one's a little less, but it's fine. Yeah. They were still.
I think what I liked about more than the way how convincing he looked was like their behavior was generally that of just animals, right? They weren't movie monsters, except for a few select ones.
Yeah, the snake is a little bit.
The snake is a bit of a Harry Potter thing. I kept thinking of a Chamber of Secrets during it. Mm-hmm.
I like the snake. I like that scene extremely. Yeah. That might be my favorite scene, actually. That's a great sequence.
That was the It Follows guy doing his thing. Yeah.
No, but I mean, that's part of the wild animal thing of the dinosaurs are as interested in the trash as they are in actually hunting down humans at times.
Right.
And then you have the part where they're trying to drive around and they get stopped by just the.
I love those guys.
Turtle guys.
That's great. Yeah, they look good.
They do look great. And then, occasionally they have to hold a grudge and actually chase, the crocodiles in the house at the end. Have to be mad at them to some degree. But yeah, that's it's a B movie. It's okay to be a little consistent with that stuff. And when they are mauling people and attacking them, I said, when a raptor jumps up on the porch and tackles some lady, and she like kind of tries to sit up, like gets her head up again before she's bit for the second time, and like has her head yanked off. Like it's just like, oh yeah, you're still alive for a while these things are chewing on you. It's not just I mean, even McGregor, like, I guess he gets the leg slam, but then taken off at the torso entirely. Yep. So a little faster for him, luckily.
Not more violent than the Odyssey. R-rated.
It is more violent than the Odyssey.
Which is like true. What?
Bloodier.
I was pretty surprised when that happened. It's like, I thought this is PG-13, right? I don't know what gets away with PG-13 versus R anymore, because I just don't really think about ratings, because it's not really all that important. I can get into whatever I want. So, but there are times where I just kind of wonder, like, wait, what is this rated?
Well, I think it's important that this is rated PG-13, so kids who aren't ready for it will see it. That's what I want most for this.
Yeah,
and that's guaranteed to happen at this point. I mean, it's a dinosaur movie, and it's probably the scariest one. I think since Jurassic Park, at least, which is a lot more of a kind of a thrill ride, kind of scares, like on a roller coaster. And this one is just like, no, you're dead. He's dying. He's getting eaten there, and you got to think about that for a few minutes at least. And that's the stuff that kind of like sticks with you from the Amblin era. The Gremlins, of course. I don't know. I'm thinking of. I was reminded frequently of a movie called Cloak and Dagger. I don't know if either of you know this. It stars Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman, yeah.
Yes, which does similar kind of like, is your dad alive or dead play as End of Oak Street. And yeah, I mean, it's tempting to ascribe all of that to Spielberg's family divorce or whatever, but it was a valid thing. It was a sort of an easy emotional linchpin to hit children with, and with these family movies back then, and it's kind of fallen out of favor. I'm glad we're being mean about this shit again. It's kind of one of the triumphs of Stranger Things when it was at its best. Really, was that it had an edge to it.
Yeah, maybe that's why I fell off of that midstream, because I felt like, oh, this has become too popular and people are too sentimental about it, and it's not going to be able to maintain any of that edge. But it's still like, trying to use the aesthetics of horror in a way that I find irritating when people try to use those aesthetics without committing to any of the meanness. Basically, John told me that this was much better than he thought it would be, and that I should see it. So I said, fine, I'll do it. But I was sitting in the theater, trying to figure out, like, is this rated R? Or is this PG-13? I didn't look at that when I bought the ticket. But I think that it also, but that's part of that HBO viewing experience thing of not knowing what rating this movie I jumped into was, and how hard it was going to play with me. And I like how this movie kind of sets up a PG movie, does a pretty hard-edged PG-13 movie in the second act, and then at the end, I love the ending of this.
Yeah.
Because of how, like,
it's fucked up, man.
How it sort of presents as if it's reverting to the PG movie it set up for a happy ending, but it has this like hint of the darkness of like the end of a Charlie Kaufman movie or something, where you're like, well, but if that person's there, that means that this and this and this have to be true. Yeah. And all that's really fucked up. Maybe the most fucked up thing you've done in the entire movie. And if this had been a J.J. Abrams all the way through, I would just be like, that's a tonal misstep that you just are not conscientious enough to tie off. But because of the Robert Mitchell Cameron of it all, I am like, I think he's deliberately like knows how fucked up this is. Like that the stuff about we have, when they're talking halfway through the movie about, we kind of need to be honest with our kids about how we're all going to die they're going to be eaten by dinosaurs here. Like, that's stuff that the J.J. movie would not even touch. It would just be Jumanji, and but I can give that credit for being intentionally weird and dissonant in a way that I might not have been with another filmmaker at the helm here.
Did you caught the thing at the very end, right? The joke. I mean, I don't know if it's a joke, but I took it as a joke. The very last shot of the family coming together with their with the orphaned girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You caught that
With a
there's
double.
two of them? With the double. Okay, so not everybody is. I was just curious about that, which is funny because, wait, you couldn't have done that for your own family. You just saved the dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Which
No,
made me thinking this is Rick and Morty territory.
Well, like Anne Hathaway didn't save that double girl. That girl ran off and did it herself.
Right. But then she did. I mean, yeah, that's right.
But she does send her double and her kid's double to the prehistoric era, even though she could have stopped that.
There can be only one of this.
She feeds their doubles to the dinosaurs, basically.
Yeah.
It's like without their dad, what happens to them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It also means that Ewan McGregor has no arc functionally in this. He is the exact same person that we meet in the beginning.
And what the hell? What the hell
experiences
happened here?
none of the catharsis or change of the dinosaur world. And maybe the point is he didn't need to change, but I'm not entirely sure that's the case.
He's an optimistic guy, just trying his best.
It also means that basically his wife's twin sister showed up with duplicates of their kids, and he knows that sister, like, he's now living with and married to, but he knows that they fed his wife that he had lived with for the last 20 years to the dinosaurs.
It's them. It's just 2 days later.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's a small game, and she's nicer to him now, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but this is why I think this is the Charlie Kaufman element of it. Is that he's like, yeah, that's really fucked up if I think about it. However, this does seem to be kind of an upgrade in terms of my day-to-day from where I was just at.
Yeah, and she does the better version of becoming a novelist. Which is not like a revolutionary road story
Soon to be
style.
adapted into a feature film.
Yeah. It fixes all their problems in some ways by by dooming dozens of people to a dinosaur hell, including versions of them. That's great.
There's a sequel for you right there. The Back to the Future 2 of it all.
For me, I would write it off as that is a movie being lazy and insulting my intelligence if that movie hadn't included the stuff about the last milk you'll ever have and how like doomed we actually are to stay in here, and what does this mean existentially about the existence of a creator and the rules of the cosmos. And if the movie hadn't shown that modicum of interest in the bigger existential questions that this raises, then I wouldn't delight in how fucked up the implications at the end are.
It's also the kind of stuff, again, to mess with a child or like a 10-year-old who goes to see this, because it presents as such a happy ending, and then you can kind of worry it out later when you're thinking about it. You're just like, actually, he still dies, though. Like all that it will occur to you. And yeah, I think it's very intentional. I believe so, anyway. And that's why I think this is the most successful version of this thing, this Amblin kind of revival thing that's going on. It really feels like this one had the passion behind what it was trying. There's a deep affection for this kind of fucked upness. And yeah, I mean, again, maybe it's just because I know he made It Follows, which I really do revere as a very strong film. And seeing that sort of mindset transferred over to this Amblin thing, it turns out that's exactly what I wanted. And yeah, I guess that's Krampus as well, Al. You make a fine point there. But when you do it right, I guess I'm still susceptible to this sort of thing. It's just hard to do right, perhaps.
Well, may none of us ever get too old to be so over-immune to dinosaurs.
Well, sure.
Yeah, if you get more dinosaur movies like this, I guess. But like a dinosaur movie, but with time bubbles. Like that's really it. It just needs a little extra kick, I guess.
All right. Well, I guess that's, I think you got a sense of it. Yeah, everyone should see this. Everyone should see this. Children especially. And
It's a fun monster movie.
And it's the kind of thing that it was a surprise that it came out, and that I did not kind of clock this as a film I was going to enjoy that much, and it kind of got some weird pre-release buzz, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to check it out then, and I was thoroughly surprised and entertained by the thing. So, I mean, I still prefer, some of the big ticket things of the year. The Odyssey is the thing you should see first. Sorry, June.
No.
No, don't set him up this late in the.
I'm just the pouty outlier on this one. I accept
No,
that.
there's some people upset about the Odyssey. Don't worry about it. But
And for me, like,
Yeah, you're in great company.
That's just like none of their reasons. Like, I'm not associated with them. They don't affiliate them with me. It's just I was just not into it. I'm okay with all the stuff that he did. It just the full package just didn't. Honestly, it could have just been my jet lag. I didn't fall asleep, but it could have just been me being restless from jet lag. Maybe like in the future it'll work better for me. So we'll see.
Well, the Odyssey is a singular experience. That's the kind of movie that you have to like plan around and decide how you're going to watch it. This is kind of a perfect movie to just go see a fucking movie. It's just, hey, go check out a summer movie, a summer-ass adventure movie with dinosaurs. It's going to surprise you and shock you and have fun, and you're going to get a big thing of popcorn. That's why I think this is valuable. It's sort of mid-tier.
101 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
So forget the Odyssey. Go see a double feature instead of The Invite and Oak Street. Both about marital problems.
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of common ground there, actually. Weirdly enough.
Much better bang for your buck than the Odyssey. God damn.